Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me present this topic. My name is Constance Ching, and I am the technical consultant specifically on code advocacy and implementation from Alive and Thrive, FHI Global Nutrition. And the topic today is digital marketing of breast milk substitutes and monitoring. So just a little background about myself. Currently, I am, as mentioned, with Alive and Thrive, working on um, a number of things related to code implementation and advocacy, including um, uh, technical support on policy, um, monitoring, research, evidence, and data generation. I'm also involved in a number of projects in a few countries um, on developing digital and AI tools for to help code monitoring. Before my work with Alive and Thrive, I was with the International Baby Food Action Network, and specifically the International Code Documentation Center, ICDC, based in Penang, Malaysia. So just this was a little background about myself. And today, our presentation or little webinar will be broken down into three parts. And now we're starting the first part, which is the background and themes of marketing of breast milk substitutes. And when we're talking about breast milk substitutes, of course, we are also um, including products that are in the scope of the international code, meaning bottles and teats, and also complementary foods. So just know that when I mention breast milk substitutes, I'm not excluding the other products that are included in the scope of the international code. Um, and subsequent to this part, we will be talking about monitoring, and also the third part will be on key lessons. So we're starting the first part now, the background and theme. So just a little about, um, just to give a little bit of context about the importance of protecting breastfeeding. We know that the marketing of breast milk substitutes of related products is a major barrier to improving breastfeeding rates around the globe. But just to give some context, that just some numbers pulled from the cost of not breastfeeding tool from the Alive and Thrive website, we actually know that if we do not improve breastfeeding rates for the world in all countries, we will be suffering from over 500 billion of economic cost in total. And these include, but are not limited to health system costs due to mortality and morbidity, uh, mortality and morbidity, um, IQ points lost that uh, contribute to missing schools, and also not optimizing um, job participation later on in life, child obesity, maternal deaths, and earlier I mentioned mortality. So all these things, if you go to the cost of not breastfeeding tool, you will see that all these things are actually contributing to the total economic cost of over 500 billion a year for um, globally for not improving breastfeeding rates. So we know that in the past couple of years, WHO and UNICEF and partner civil society organizations and also academic institutes have really contributed to generating evidence on the impact, the negative impact of inappropriate marketing of breast milk substitutes and related products. So we know that the international code was adopted over 40 years ago to provide guidance for countries on restricting the marketing of breast milk substitutes and related products. As of now, there are 146 countries that have adopted some measures to give effect to the international code as their national legal measures. The aggressive marketing and inappropriate marketing of breast milk substitutes and related products continue to be a major barrier to improving breastfeeding rates. And these marketing practices undermine mothers' confidence in their ability to breastfeed. These tactics also co-opt health professionals, health workers in directly or indirectly promoting these products. And it also distorts the access to accurate information on public health and nutrition for the general public. So we see that marketing looks like this before the international code. These examples were collected before the international code was adopted. But what are we dealing with now? So an example that we collected from 2020, which was at the beginning of the COVID pandemic. This was an example from Vietnam. Basically, the company used Dr. Tedros, everybody knows him, from WHO, and his quote about immune system and respiratory infections and how it is necessary to protect children from these infections. So the quote was actually taken out of context, and his headshot was being used in a social media post to promote breast milk substitutes in Vietnam. This is a local brand in Vietnam. So from the beginning of COVID, we're already seeing that companies are playing on our fear about immune system, about protecting our children's health in their marketing. We're also seeing that companies like to use health claims, and specifically things relating to brain development, IQ, EQ, to also prey on parents. So to basically claim with unsubstantiated claims that these products will contribute to intellectual or brain development. And again, of course, they know that parents really, really care about our children's intellectual and emotional development. So I also want to point out that there have been studies conducted by WHO that point to the fact that these nutrition and health claims are more often than not scientifically not substantiated. So these are claims that are not substantiated, that are used by companies to promote their products and telling parents that the products contribute to these health and nutrition claims and functions. Also, something that we found in Hong Kong to kind of up the ante is products that are specifically for very specific conditions. So, for example, the cesarean birth rates in Hong Kong are very high. So, there are also products that are using that as a marketing theme to promote to parents. So, these products you can see that are specifically claiming that it will boost the immune system of babies if they are from cesarean births. Again, these are claims that are scientifically not substantiated. We do not believe that a tin of powder can possibly specifically support the immune system of babies that are born from cesarean birth. So again, this is a very outrageous marketing tactic that's used in Hong Kong to target parents, as companies know that the cesarean birth rates are very high in Hong Kong. There's also companies are also catching on with the general marketing theme. We know that not specifically just in breast milk substitute or formula products, in general, this green theme of food products being organic, plant-based, non-GMO is a huge theme that's used to market food and specifically processed and ultra-processed foods. So there's no exception to um, uh, formula milk as well. This greenwashing tactic portraying products as plant-based, good for the environment, organic is also a big marketing theme in being used in promoting formula products. And also, these products are usually more expensive and portrayed as premium products because of the green theme. So again, we know that there are studies out there pointing to the fact that the use of formula milk is actually creating a very huge burden to the environment. And there's actually nothing green about artificial feeding or using commercial milk formula products. So this is again contrary to scientific and factual studies that point to the fact that um, uh, there's nothing green about and nothing environmental friendly about using these products. And companies are again catching on to the public and including parents desire to become more environmentally friendly as the general public is becoming more and more environmentally aware. So again, the marketing theme also reflects that public awareness as well. But again, of course, this is being used to prey on parents as the marketing tactic. During COVID, especially, this was uh, this was an ad on social media on Instagram from Indonesia. So we remember that during the height of COVID, there was everybody was very socially isolated. Many countries or many places in Indonesia were on lockdown. Same, I'm sure, many countries experience that as well, not just in Indonesia. But so companies were also tapping into that sense of social isolation and also the real situation of social isolation because of COVID. A lot of times we couldn't, go to see our doctors. We couldn't really ask questions regarding child care, infant feeding, nutrition specific questions, or how to care and support our infants and young children due to that social isolation during that period. So tapping into that, companies offered online 24/7 hotline to parents to consult on how to care and provide support for their children during COVID uh, and social isolation, with taglines such as "We're standing by you, let's stay resilient together." So again, uh, companies are reaching out to parents, to mothers, which is against the international code, um, and also some countries' national law, but they are exploiting the COVID situation by using these channels, specifically online, to reach out to parents. We're also seeing a lot of very confusing messages on infant feeding online. So, for example, this company, Similac, the company is Abbott. They decided to basically tell parents that um, there's more than one right way to feed a baby, and to provide quote unquote information on breastfeeding and supplementation. So, supplementation here means mixed feeding. So, basically using formula and breastfeeding at the same time, which is not a recommended infant feeding method. So, again, by saying that there's more than one right way to feed a baby, so this message is intentionally confusing parents and also distorting um, public health information on the benefits of breastfeeding, and providing confusing and also misleading information to parents. So imagine if a new parent who is already having some difficulties trying to figure out how to feed a baby, they really need the right, correct guidance and support on breastfeeding. Imagine they stumble across this on the internet and started reading it. What would happen to the mother reading this? Um, Also, uh, companies are also um, not just promoting their products once the baby is born. Companies are actually starting way before the baby is born. So uh, this post here is actually from a website, but also linked from a social media platform. They're reaching out to women who are pregnant and saying, using things like what to eat during pregnancy to boost baby's brain development. But obviously, these are basically reaching out to mothers to get them to join online baby club to indirectly promote the products, but also they're collecting information from the mother, personal contact information, when is the baby due, to have as much information as possible to facilitate their marketing practices, right? Because once they have the information of when the baby is due and the age of the baby, then they can actually they can actually um, plan their marketing activities according to the timeline and the age of the baby, different stage, different products. So this is again an effort to reach out to pregnant women and mothers online, also to collect information about the baby to facilitate marketing. A big theme that is being used right now on social media is user-generated content. So this is something that not the company is not just using their content to promote their products. So in these social media posts or on the website, parents or mothers are being asked to post their own videos and photos with their child, to upload these pictures or videos onto the social media or onto the website, and then to tag their own friends within the network. So to basically use us, our network, and also our content, our personal content, our um, photos and videos to help companies to promote their products. And this is actually a very effective because essentially we're actually providing to these companies not only our content, but also on social media. If we're tagging our friends, if we're posting these content, our own social network will also have access to these contents as well that help promote the products. Apart from the general public, companies are also reaching out to health professionals by sponsoring conferences and workshops. So in on the left here, the company is sponsoring a brain expo. This was from Malaysia in 2023. And then on the right here, companies are also sponsoring a conference, a midwife, a conference that's specifically for midwives in the UK. So they are also using sponsorship of events and conferences and scientific meetings to reach out to health professionals. We know that health professionals have a very, very important role to play in uh, influencing parents and mothers' decision on how to feed their infants and young children. So a lot of times, mothers and parents place a huge amount of trust on health professionals to provide guidance and advice. And that's how companies are reaching out to and try to influence health professionals and to try to influence decisions on infant feeding as well. And again, this is another example. Uh, World Breastfeeding Week is actually a public health event. It's a breastfeeding advocates event to promote breastfeeding. It belongs to the public. It belongs to civil society, to and also UN agencies and governments to dedicate that week or in some countries a whole month to really focus their resources on promoting breastfeeding. So here, Nestle is hijacking public health campaigns and events um, uh, to sponsor or to endorse these events and campaigns using public health campaigns and language and messaging to reach out to the public and also health professionals and public health organizations, trying to influence them. So this is a very, very convoluted messaging because Nestle Nutrition Institute is affiliated with Nestle. And if they are profiting from selling breast milk substitutes, which means if their goal is to maximize profits by selling breast milk substitutes, breastfeeding rates have to go down for them to make a profit. If that's their goal, how can they possibly support and sponsor World Breastfeeding Week? So there is a conflict of interest within this messaging and this activity there, and also it's a clear hijacking of public health events. Um, During crisis and emergencies, companies also are very notorious in reaching out to provide donations, free supplies to boost their good image, as a PR, public relations activity to not only to um, just for to better their image, but also once these products get into, for example, emergency camps or crisis situations, and they get into the hands of mothers in a way that is not um, carefully assessed, um, it can very much affect and also uh, um, affect negatively on the breastfeeding rate. So basically, it can undermine breastfeeding in these sort of situations. So on the one hand, they are trying to promote their good deeds by by saying that they're providing free supplies and donations in emergency situations and crisis situations to boost their image. But on the other hand, it's also an entry point for these products to get into the market. So for example, in here we see that in Indonesia, also during the beginning of COVID-19 pandemic, Danone is donating a bunch of products to the provincial governments in Indonesia to prevent stunting, and they actually posted this on their social media account, and this was also uh, found on the news as well. And then on the right side, we have an Australian company, Nature One Formula, providing free supplies through a celebrity in Myanmar during a humanitarian crisis. So again, companies also prey on emergency situations to market their products by exploiting these situations. Um, This is an example of cross promotion, meaning companies are actually using, if you look at this product here, where the arrows um, are, this product is actually milk for pregnant women. And this product is actually not included in the international code, the scope of the international code, because when the international code was written, this product was not uh, in the market, and it's a relatively new product that is targeting pregnant women, basically promoting to pregnant women, saying to them that, oh, this is a product that can make you have a healthy pregnancy. And also, there's actually a study done in Vietnam that the study interviewed mothers on the use of this product, and the majority of the mothers interviewed in that study actually responded that they believe that using this product can actually help their unborn babies to become healthier and smarter once they're born. So you can see also how the product is actually very similar to the rest of the line of the product. The infant formula, follow-on formula, and growing up milk. So if the milk for pregnant women is not included in the international code, and in many countries, it's also not included in the scope of the national law, meaning that companies are free to promote this product. When this product is promoted, because of the cross promotion tactic that the other breast milk substitutes products practically look extremely similar and almost the same, almost identical, they're also promoting the other products as well. When mothers think that the product, the milk for pregnant women is actually good for them because of the misleading marketing, they're very likely to think that the formula milk, the number one, number two, and number three milk that look very similar to this product that they trust, they are very likely to believe that these other milks are also going to be good for their baby. And there are studies out there that support that that is the psychology behind the marketing. So this is also something that companies are using to reach out to mothers, specifically because this milk product for pregnant women in a lot of countries are not the marketing is not restricted yet, and therefore they're using this product as an entry point to promote the other products. So basically, in the previous examples that we have gone through, we know that uh, there are many ways companies are reaching out to mothers and babies. Advertising on mass media, what we see at shops, uh, is just one part of the whole gamut of marketing um, tactics. Companies are also reaching out to healthcare facilities. Companies are also reaching out to health professionals, professional associations, and even through public health and government programs to directly and indirectly influence mothers on and parents on the decisions on infant and young child feeding. So that's something that we need to keep in mind that basically we live in an environment where we're surrounded by marketing. And this was actually supported by um, sorry. And also in recent years, we know that digital marketing has become the dominant form of marketing of breast milk substitutes of related products. 2 years ago, WHO and UNICEF jointly released a report to provide evidence on the scope and impact of digital marketing on parents and how these marketing practices affect their infant and young child feeding decisions. There are also marketing trends that are specifically related to digital marketing, so such as the use of algorithms and data mining. Some of the tactics are not recognizable right away as advertising, such as user-generated content. We have, mentioned that earlier. Real-time interaction. So that's one huge thing with the digital marketing is that a lot of times the interaction is real-time and live through chats, through online groups, through just interactive features on social media and the internet. The use of influencers as well is a big thing with social media, uh, as with other kinds of marketing as well. Influencers are being used to market breast milk substitutes and other products, and we see that a lot in the digital space. So, for example, this is an example from India. An influencer on YouTube is talking about the best formula milk for baby, and you can see that this person here has close to 3 million subscribers, just one person. So you can imagine the scope of reach through influencers uh, on digital marketing platforms. We talked about this report, the scope and impact of digital marketing strategies for promoting breast milk substitutes. That this report that came out in 2022, that provides evidence on the scope of digital marketing of breast milk substitutes. And last year, based on the evidence, WHO also developed a guidance on regulatory measures aimed at restricting digital marketing of breast milk substitutes. So this guidance came out last year, and the guidance is meant for governments to reference as a reference for governments to develop and apply their regulatory measures on digital marketing, because digital marketing involves a much broader range of actors than traditional marketing practices. And you can see that the list of actors involved, some of the actors involved over here on the right side. So we're not going to go through all of them, but we know that the characteristic of digital marketing is that it involves a much broader range of actors, and also different actors from traditional marketing. So applying the code to digital environments requires specific implementation mechanisms and coordination across a broader set of actors and also different actors. Um, and also the regulations must be adapted to country contexts and regulatory frameworks as well. So I'm going to stop here for part one of our presentation here. That basically, as a recap of what we have talked about, we've talked about the background, a little bit of background of marketing, and also the themes of digital marketing um, uh, in this presentation here, and also the urgency of developing monitoring and regulatory measures to restrict the digital marketing of breast milk substitutes. So in the subsequent part, in part two, we will then focus on how to tackle monitoring and enforcement of digital marketing of breast milk substitutes and related products. So thank you very much for watching and listening to this.